Temporis 4 has been out for a little bit now, and perhaps you're starting to feel the grind. Perhaps you're starting to feel the pressure of a couple months time limit. And maybe you're beginning to wonder if you're going to be able to reach that goal you've set before time runs out. In this guide, I'm going to lay out exactly how each Temporis category stacks up in token making potential. And then I'm also going to reveal to you my strategy for how to get at least 1,900 tokens so that I can get that Temporis shield cover. Welcome to Benjamight Gaming, where it's my goal to bring you fun and fantastic Dofus PVM content. There are a total of 8 categories underneath the Temporis Achievements tag. And in case you didn't know this, if you got 100% on all 8 categories, that's only going to bank a little over 4,800 tokens total. What happens is when you reach 3,500 tokens, you get this big Tempoken collector certificate, which allows you access to an NPC that will then give you missions to continue to gather more tokens, which is what you're going to need to do if you wish to get all the way up to that maximum 6,000 tokens. Out of these 8 categories, achievement points and quests carry the most tokens that can be earned, with the challenges category coming in at almost the least, only overcoming general, which has very few tokens that can be earned. All right, so here's a table that I made up that shows you each of the categories, kind of how they break down in quantity of tokens across the way, and then the maximum number of tokens that can be earned if you complete all of those categories. Now, if all goes as planned, I'm going to include a link in the description below, which will have a PDF version of this that you can download for yourself if you'd like to use it to help track or calculate how you'd like to try to reach your goal. So basically, the dungeons are done in 3 waves. You got your first wave. We're now available to do the second wave, and then third wave will open up next week. Each time you defeat those dungeons, the number of tokens that you get will decrease. The very first week, you may feel like you got a lot of tokens from doing those dungeons, but it's going to decrease each week after that. The achievement points has almost the highest amount that you can get. And the nice thing about achievement points is that's something that you're going to collect as you do a variety of things, whether it be breeding, professions, dungeons, fighting monsters, or any of those miscellaneous things. Those are constantly unlocking achievement points. So right here in the achievement point section, 1 to 800, there's a total of 9 sets or breaks in that. In fact, let me show you real quick. If you look at achievements, these are green because I've already accomplished these ones here, but you get 50 is where you get your first token. And then the next step is where you get your 2 tokens. And the next step, you get 3. Each one of these are what I'm considering a set inside that table. So there are 9 sets for that first category. So now when you look at the next section, which is 900 to 1,250, that's broken down into 3 sets. There's going to be 3 tabs there. Each one of those benchmarks that you reach, you're going to get 10 tokens for those for each set, which gives you a total of 30 tokens you can earn between there. Then it bumps up to 20 tokens for these 2 sets. And then once you get to 2,000 all the way up to 6,750, there's 20 sets there, each one giving you 25 tokens. And then if you get really good and get anywhere between the 7,000 and 10,000, which is another 13 sets that can be earned, at 30 tokens apiece, that's 390 tokens total you could get if you get all the way there. So if you add up all that bottom row, that's how you get the number there on the right-hand side of 1,005 tokens. Challenges and dungeon challenges, they carry very little weight along the line of how many tokens can be earned. But the nice thing is you can earn these simultaneously if you plan it right. I believe Dofus was one of the first people that pointed it out to me. There's been a few others reference it since then. But if you're at a low level and you spam the field dungeon, if you're running that by yourself and that mob is higher than your character, you can be accomplishing both the dungeon challenge and the challenges at the same time as you go through there. When you get 25 challenges done in each one of these, you're only going to get 1 token. That's not a lot of tokens. But once you get from 50 to 100 on the challenges and 50 to 75 under the dungeon challenges, you're going to get 5 tokens for each of those. But still, that's a lot of running through a dungeon to get very few tokens. Now, one other thing to point out that's really nice, when you're going through these, they may not carry a lot of weight just by themselves, but as you accomplish challenges and dungeon challenges, you also unlock additional achievement points. So that helps you with the big lump up here. So you could almost be working all 3 of these at one time. And of course, you're getting XP, which means that you're leveling your character. Now, your character leveling does not have a whole lot to do it. In fact, it says 315 here, but you literally have to get to level 200 and then Omega 200 to get to that number. The goal is to look for opportunities like that where you can be targeting several things at a time. And hopefully this table kind of helps lay out where you want to put forth your effort. The wanted notices, it doesn't matter how simple or how difficult the wanted notice is, you get 10 tokens. You might as well knock out at least a few of the low level or easy ones to capture. If you even did just 10 of those, that's 100 tokens that you get just for doing 10 of them. Now, quest is another one of the big ones. If you did just all the Incarnum quest, I believe there's like 25 quests up there. Well, just doing Incarnum would get you 15 tokens because you get 5 once you've done 10 of them. And once you've done 25, you get another 10. So that's 15 you could get just in Incarnum. And then there's 50, 75, but here's where you really start making bank on that. And if you're going through the Astra quest line or anything like that, once you start getting up here, that's 40 tokens per level. It's broken into 25 groups. Going from 100 to 700 is broken down into 25 of those sets. And you get 40 per set. So this is a fantastic way. Anytime you pass somebody with an exclamation mark, pick up the quest. Who knows? You just might accomplish it and never even realize that you were working on it. Just pick up every single one that you can, because every quest that you knock out really helps raise up the number of tokens that you can get. So that's the table that really shows you how all of these things weigh out against each other. And hopefully that will help you come up with a strategy of your own for how you want to attack the goal that you've set, the reward that you want to get to. Now I'm going to show you my plan for how I plan to get at least 1900 because I want to get that shield. All right, first off, this is just my strategy. It does not mean it's the best or the fastest. All I've done is I've picked out the categories that I enjoy doing the most, and I've tried to make those the heavier weights for what I'm trying to do. So when you're coming up with a strategy of your own, keep that in mind. Look at the things that you like and don't like and build a table that works for you. So I put this together as if I could beat at least dungeons 1 to 130 all 3 times. Hopefully I can beat some dungeons that are much higher than that and continue to climb, which will make that a little bit easier. But as you can see, between first wave, second wave, and third wave, you can see how much that drops in token value. I also have 6,000 achievement points down. Now, that seems like a really big number to me right now, but the thing is if I focus on trying to get achievements, I'm going to get a whole lot more tokens if I make it a target, which is the goal here. You want to put together a strategy. What are you going to spend your time doing to try to get to that point? I also have complete all 1,000 challenge fights. And so I think that's a pretty easy thing to get, which is probably why it carries so little value. But I figure if I get all of those and I put down just for half of the dungeon challenge fights, now most likely I'll get more than half. But I was trying to keep my expectations reasonable because I don't want my attention to be on trying to get those dungeon challenges as much as I would like to be moving forward on achievements or quests, because they carry a bigger weight. They may not be as much fun sometimes, but they carry a bigger weight for the tokens. I'll shoot for more than half, but as long as I get at least half, I'm going to hit my goal. Then I've got the wanted notices. I've got 7 in there because doing 7 wanted notice to get 70 tokens is a pretty sweet deal. If I can get more, I will, but I threw those in there to help bridge that gap. And variety is kind of nice. Quests are a big one that I'm going to be focused on. I've got 400 quests written down here. Currently, I'm sitting at right at 100 quests, and that's been primarily Incarnum and Astrum. I've hardly stepped out anywhere else to grab quests, but there's a lot of quests out there I can do, pick them up, knock them out, and be moving forward on that. So that's a big one. And then general levels, I've got it down as if I reach level 160 before this is over, that'll be another 75 tokens. Again, this is not necessarily what I'm going to do. It just gives me a plan or a strategy of what to go to. Things may change, but at least that's a starting point. All right, now I'm going to go over some suggestions and some ideas on how to get your tokens as quickly and effectively as possible. Okay, the temptation to be first is hard to resist, whether it's professions, dungeons, ruins, breeding, etc. It doesn't matter. The rush of being the first to those categories can be hard to resist. But that's probably why some people are starting to feel a little bit of a burnout here, because they're pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to stay in the front of everybody else. But be careful of focusing too much on things that are literally going to be completely gone here in just a couple months. Try to focus on things that are going to keep you moving forward towards the goal that you've set for yourself. Keep in mind, if it's not something that's moving you towards another token, now that's only if your goal is to reach a reward. If you're just playing this to have fun and you don't care what rewards you get, then by no means worry about that at all and just have fun. Play the markets, do whatever you want to do. But if your goal is to reach a certain milestone on that thing, be asking yourself, okay, if I spend time doing this, is it moving me to an achievement point? Is it moving me to a token? Is it going to advance me in any direction towards my goal? Things you can do that can help. If you have a friend that's already a high-level profession, instead of trying to grind out professions for yourself, offer to help them, give them the resources that they need and all that kind of stuff, completely for free, to continue to help them level the profession in exchange for free services later. Perhaps maybe you want to have a profession. Well, if you've got friends that are already doing a tailor, or maybe somebody else that's doing a handyman, then you choose shoemaker. Pick a profession that they're not doing, and then you guys can all swap services, and you're not fighting over the same market in the markets, if that makes sense. Also, there is no wrong way to earn your tokens. If you like doing professions, do some professions. If you like questing, do the questing. There's no right or wrong way. The goal is just to make sure you're moving forward on those tokens in whatever brings you the most joy. If it begins to feel like work, then you should probably do something else, because the game is supposed to be fun. Don't feel like you're on here working. This is supposed to be your escape from stress, your fun place to go. Keep that in mind. If you're feeling stressed out, if you feel like the game is becoming a chore, change it. Do something different. Go in a different direction. Do a thing you've never done before or whatever. When you have access to a group, do group things. Do things you can't do on your own. Instead of going as a group to run a low-level dungeon, if you can solo that dungeon or run it with a sidekick or run it with one other person as your group, go run the things that you can't do without that group. Run the higher level stuff. Besides, the XP and the leveling that you gain off of that will help you with the lower level dungeons. Same thing with mobs. Maybe instead of going to run a dungeon that's right at your level, you and your group, you go to an area with some great XP and grind out a bunch of mobs together as a group, because as you all level, you're going to be able to then separately go do other things that you can only do by yourself. If you manage to complete all the achievements for levels 1 to 50 dungeons, if you can manage to knock all these out, you're going to knock out 1,250 achievement points for yourself. If you manage to do all the doppels, you can get another 218 achievement points. Remember, achievement points carry a lot of weight. Those are easy ones to grab, and those are also fantastic to do if you can only play by yourself. Exploration. Don't miss out on easy exploration points. I know it's not a lot. You get 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, and then if you get them all, you get 10 points. But still, look at that. That's 20 points almost that you can get just from picking up all the areas in Incarnum. Astrub's easy to get. Bonta and Brockmar, very easy to pick up all those locations. So if you're on your own, you don't really feel like fighting anything, turn on Netflix, turn on Pandora, and just run around and pick up all these explorations, because every one of them is going to give you a point. Those points add up. All that gear you're dropping from everything that you fight, go crush it. If you crush it, you get ruins that you can sell and put in the market. It doesn't take very long, and you get a few points. Crush enough of them, you get a nice little chunk of points. If you really want to, crush a Bow Wow. Also, keep your eyes out for monsters that you have not defeated one of each type with a challenge. Every one of these you knock out, you get 10 achievement points, 10, 20, 30. They add up really fast. And then every time you complete a set, like this one right here, you get 20 more on top of that. These are great ways to get extra achievement points just passively doing the things you're doing already anyways. All right, well, that's just a handful of things I got. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully you found something in here that's going to be useful to help you reach the Temporis goal or reward that you've set for yourself. But most of all, remember, enjoy the game. It's supposed to be fun, and do whatever it takes on here to have fun while you're doing it. If you could do me a huge favor and smack that like button, it helps YouTube promote my channel and let people know that I'm here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to make sure you get all my future videos, and you'll also get a notification if I hit that go live button. I'm doing a lot of streaming of Temporis. That's everything I got. Be safe, and I'll see you on the next one.